She texted, "My ex says you're too basic for the life I want. And honestly, he's right." I didn't argue. I just replied, "Good to know." I stayed quiet for a few days. Didn't block her, didn't confront her, didn't react. Then one afternoon, she walked into the cafe, and the moment she saw who was sitting across from me, her smile died instantly. I'm Brady, 32, and I'd been dating Meredith for about 10 months when everything went sideways. We met through mutual friends at a marketing conference, had that immediate connection everyone talks about, moved from casual coffee dates to weekend trips to Minneapolis lakes within the first month. She was ambitious, beautiful, worked in event planning for high-end corporate clients. I'm a digital marketing manager at a mid-sized agency, make decent money at $84K, own a townhouse in a good neighborhood that I'm still paying off but building solid equity. I thought we balanced each other well. The problem started around month 8. Meredith's ex, some guy named Landon Pierce, who worked as a finance director, started appearing more frequently in our conversations. Landon used to take me to this steakhouse downtown. Landon knew the owner of that private club. Landon's new girlfriend just posted from Aspen. At first I figured she was just processing the past relationship. Then the comparisons became more pointed. Landon always wore custom suits to networking events. You should think about upgrading your wardrobe. Or, Landon's condo had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river. Your place is nice, but it's pretty basic. Basic. That word came up constantly. I tried not to let it bother me. Everyone has insecurities. Everyone compares sometimes. But it was relentless. This constant drip feed of being measured against someone else and coming up short. Last Tuesday changed everything. We'd planned to meet for lunch, but she canceled last minute. Said something urgent came up with a client. No big deal. Around 3 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text from her. "We need to talk about us." I called her immediately. "What's wrong?" "I don't think we should talk on the phone. Can we meet tonight?" "Sure, my place or yours." "Actually, I think we should take some time apart. I've been thinking a lot about what I want, and I'm not sure we're aligned." Something cold settled in my stomach. Where is this coming from? I ran into Landon today. We had coffee, just talking, nothing weird. But it made me realize I've been settling. Settling. That word hit like a punch to the gut. That's not the right word. I mean, look, you're a great guy. You're kind and reliable and easy to be with. But Landon pointed out that you're kind of basic. And I think he's right. I want someone who matches my lifestyle, my ambitions. I want someone who pushes me to be better. And you don't do that. Not in the way I need. I'm sorry. We talked for another 10 minutes, but the conversation was circular. She'd made up her mind, she said. She needed space to figure out what she really wants. I said, fine. We hung up. 20 minutes later, she texted, "My ex says you're too basic for the life I want. And honestly, he's right." I stared at that message for a long time. She'd texted it like an afterthought, like a PS on a breakup she'd already delivered verbally. Like she wanted to make absolutely sure I understood I wasn't enough. I replied, "Good to know." She sent back, "I hope we can still be friends eventually." I didn't respond to that. Here's what I didn't tell Meredith. Landon and I had mutual acquaintances through Minneapolis marketing and finance circles. Not friends exactly, but people who floated in both our worlds through networking events and industry mixers. And I knew things about Landon that Meredith apparently didn't. I also knew Meredith's sister, Kelsey. We'd met several times at family dinners, and she'd always seemed skeptical of Meredith's choices. After the breakup text, I did something I'm not entirely proud of, but don't regret. Though I hesitated for a moment, wondering if I was crossing a line, I texted Kelsey, "Hey, this is Brady. Meredith and I just broke up. Thought you should know in case she mentions it." Kelsey responded within minutes. "What happened?" She said I'm too basic. Her ex apparently helped her realize it. "Landon? Oh God, that narcissist is back in the picture. Seems like it. I'm sorry, Brady. For what it's worth, you're way better than that guy. He's all flash and no substance." "Good to know. Thanks for saying that. Listen, you know they never really stopped talking, right?" My hands went cold. "What? Landon, he kept texting her throughout your relationship. She'd show me sometimes, said it was just friendly catching up. I told her it was inappropriate, but she brushed me off." "Did she ever meet up with him before?" "Probably. I don't know for sure. but she'd mention running into him at events or seeing him randomly. Too many coincidences. We texted for another hour. Kelsey told me everything. How Meredith had never really gotten over Landon. How she'd compared every boyfriend to him for 3 years. How she'd convinced herself he was her soulmate despite him treating her terribly. He'd canceled dates last minute, forgot her birthday twice, cheated on her with a colleague, but he drove a Tesla and took her to expensive restaurants, so she forgave everything. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because you deserve to know the truth, and because my sister needs a reality check. Landon's going to hurt her again, and when he does, she needs to see it coming." I thanked Kelsey and left it at that. For the next 3 days, I didn't contact Meredith, didn't block her, didn't post on social media, didn't do anything dramatic, just went about my life. Work, gym, normal routine, but I was thinking, planning. Friday morning, I got coffee with someone from my network, Paige Montgomery, who runs a boutique marketing firm and happens to know Landon through business circles. We'd been professional acquaintances for about 18 months, occasionally grabbing coffee to discuss industry trends and share insights on campaigns we were running. "How's life?" she asked as we settled into our usual spot, a trendy cafe in the Arts District. "Interesting. Recently single." "Oh no, what happened?" I gave her the abbreviated version. She winced. "Landon Pierce, the finance director, you know him?" "Unfortunately, he's a walking red flag. Charms everyone, drops them the second someone shinier comes along. He's currently dating someone he met at a yacht party, but that won't last either. It never does with him." "Wait, he's dating someone?" "As of last week, yeah. Some Instagram influencer type. Why?" "Because my ex just broke up with me to get back with him. Or at least that's the vibe I got." Paige pulled out her phone, scrolled through Instagram, showed me a photo posted 3 days ago, Landon on a boat with a blonde woman who definitely wasn't Meredith. The caption, "Perfect weekend with my perfect girl." "He's playing her," Paige said. "Classic Landon move. He keeps women in rotation, tells each one they're special, juggles them all until someone calls him out or he gets bored. Does Meredith know?" "I doubt it. He's good at compartmentalizing." An idea formed. Part of me knew what I was about to suggest crossed a line, but another part of me felt like I'd been pushed past caring about lines. "Paige, want to do something kind of petty?" "Always. What are we thinking?" "Meredith doesn't know I know you well. If I happen to be having coffee with someone when she coincidentally shows up somewhere, it might create an interesting situation. You want to make her jealous? I want to show her that basic men have options too, and I want her to see it before Landon inevitably crushes her illusions." Paige grinned. "I'm in." "When?" We made a plan. Meredith had a favorite cafe in the city. Not the one Paige and I usually met at, but one in a trendier neighborhood she'd dragged me to dozens of times over our 10 months together. She went there every Saturday around 2 p.m., usually to work on her laptop or meet friends. Saturday at 1:45, Paige and I walked into that cafe. We ordered drinks, took a table by the window, started talking about work stuff, but in a way that could look like a date to anyone watching. Paige is good at this. She's charming, animated, laughs easily. To an outsider, especially an ex-girlfriend, we'd look like we were having an excellent time. At 2:07, Meredith walked in. She was with 2 friends, all 3 dressed in that effortless, expensive way she'd perfected. They were laughing about something, not paying attention to the rest of the cafe. Then she saw me. I caught the exact moment. Her eyes swept the room, landed on me, widened slightly. Then she saw Paige, saw me lean in to say something, saw Paige touch my arm while laughing, saw me smile in a way I probably hadn't smiled in months. Her face went through several expressions rapidly. Surprise, confusion, something that looked like hurt, then forced neutrality. She said something to her friends, who immediately turned to look at me. I waved casually. Meredith didn't wave back. She approached our table. I'd been expecting this. "Brady." "Hey Meredith, how are you?" "Good, I'm good. I didn't know you came here." "I don't usually. Paige suggested it." I gestured to Paige, who smiled politely. "Meredith, meet Paige. Paige, this is Meredith. We used to date." "Nice to meet you," Paige said, extending a hand. Meredith shook it mechanically. "How long have you two been—" Meredith's voice trailed off. "We've known each other professionally for about 18 months, Paige said smoothly. "Brady's been a great resource for industry insights. We grab coffee pretty regularly to discuss campaign strategies and market trends. The implication hung there that I'd had this entire professional relationship, this connection during my relationship with Meredith, that my life didn't begin and end with her, that I had value in professional circles she knew nothing about. Oh, that's great. Meredith looked at me, trying to read something in my expression. I kept it neutral, pleasant. Can I talk to you for a second, privately? Sure, I turned to Paige. Be right back. We stepped outside. Meredith crossed her arms, defensive. So, you're dating already? It's been less than a week. I'm having coffee with a colleague. That didn't look like just colleagues. Meredith, you broke up with me because I'm too basic for your life. Why do you care who I have coffee with? I don't. I didn't think you'd move on so fast. I haven't moved on. I'm having coffee with someone I've known professionally for over a year. Someone who, by the way, thinks I'm perfectly adequate for her professional circle. That's not fair. What's not fair? You said I wasn't enough. I accepted that. Now I'm living my life. That's how breakups work. Who is she really? I told you. A colleague, someone who values my input and perspective, someone who doesn't spend our conversations comparing me to her ex. Meredith's eyes got shiny. This feels cruel. Cruel would be me telling you that Landon's currently posting yacht photos with another woman while he's stringing you along. But I won't say that because I'm too basic to be vindictive. Her face went white. She pulled out her phone right there on the sidewalk, fingers trembling slightly as she scrolled. I could see her finding the Instagram post, could see the exact moment reality hit her. What are you talking about? Check his Instagram, or don't. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. I went back inside. Paige looked up, concerned. Everything okay? Perfect. Let's finish our coffee. Through the window, I watched Meredith show something to her friends. All three looked upset. One put an arm around her. They left without ordering anything. That evening, Kelsey texted me. Meredith just called me crying, said she saw you with another woman and looked up Landon's Instagram. What happened? I told her about the cafe encounter. That's brilliant. She needed that reality check. Landon's been playing her since the breakup. She just refused to see it. How's she doing? Devastated, but also angry at Landon, mostly at herself. A little at you for moving on so fast, even though she's the one who ended it. The coffee thing wasn't serious. Paige is just a colleague who helped me make a point. I know, but Meredith doesn't. And honestly, let her think whatever she wants. She needs to sit with her choices for a while. Sunday morning, Meredith called me. I let it go to voicemail. She called again an hour later. I answered. Brady, we need to talk. About what? About everything. About what happened yesterday. About Landon. About us. There is no us. I made a mistake. I know that now. Landon was just... He was this fantasy I kept alive in my head. But being with you was real. It was good. I threw it away for something that never existed. You're right, you did. Can we try again, please? I know I hurt you, but I understand now what I had, what I lost. Meredith, you didn't just hurt me. You told me I wasn't enough, that I was too basic for the life you wanted. You compared me to your ex constantly for months. You made me feel like a placeholder until something better came along. And then the second your ex paid attention to you again, you dumped me over the phone. I know, and I'm so sorry. Your apology doesn't change how I feel, which is that I deserve someone who doesn't see me as a consolation prize. Is this about that woman, Paige? This is about me finally having enough self-respect to walk away from someone who doesn't respect me. I do respect you. No, you don't. You respect what I can provide when nothing better is available. That's not respect. That's convenience. She started crying. So that's it? You're just done? I've been done since you texted me that I'm too basic. You were done first. I'm just catching up. I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. You meant every word. And honestly, thank you for being honest. You freed me from wasting more time on someone who was never going to see me as enough. I hung up. She called back twice. I didn't answer. It's been 6 weeks now. Meredith stopped trying to contact me after that last call. I heard through Kelsey that she and Landon tried to make things work for about 2 weeks before he ghosted her for his yacht influencer girlfriend. Meredith's apparently been focusing on herself and learning from her mistakes, which feels like code for alone and regretting her choices. Paige and I are still colleagues and friends. We laugh about the cafe thing now. She said it was the most fun she'd had in months. Sometimes people need to see what they're missing, she said, and sometimes they need to see that you're fine without them. I've been dating some. Nothing serious yet, but I'm not settling for anyone who makes me feel inadequate. I went out with a teacher last week who thought my townhouse was cozy and welcoming. Had drinks with a graphic designer who appreciated that I actually listen when she talks about her work. These women see my $84K salary as solid and stable, not something to upgrade from. Life's too short to be with someone who's constantly measuring you against their ex. Kelsey and I grab coffee occasionally now. She apologized for her sister's behavior, said Meredith's always had a pattern of idealizing unavailable men and dismissing the ones who actually care. You dodged a bullet, she said last week. Eventually, she'll figure out that Landon types will never give her what she wants. But that's her lesson to learn. I ran into Meredith 2 weeks ago at a networking event downtown. She looked uncomfortable when she saw me, tried to avoid eye contact. I waved politely, didn't approach her, went about my evening. Later, I caught her watching me talk to people, laugh with colleagues, exist perfectly fine without her in my life. She left early. Some people think I was cruel with the cafe setup, that I should have just moved on quietly without staging an encounter. Maybe they're right. But here's what I learned. When someone tells you you're not enough, sometimes you need to show them, and yourself, that you're more than enough, just not for them. Meredith wanted someone flashy, someone who looked good on paper, someone who matched her image of success. She got that with Landon, and it fell apart exactly like everyone predicted. Meanwhile, I'm here, still basic, still living my regular life, still perfectly content with who I am. The coffee shop encounter wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my sense of self-worth after months of being made to feel less than. It was about showing her that she considers basic have options, connections, lives that don't revolve around her validation. And honestly, it felt good. Not because I hurt her, but because I reminded both of us that I have value, that I'm worth more than being someone's backup plan, that my $84K salary and my townhouse and my normal life are enough for the right person. She texted me last night. I really am sorry. I hope you know that. I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond, wanted to say something gracious or final or cutting. Part of me felt sorry for her, knowing that she'd learned a hard lesson about chasing fantasies. But mostly, I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, no lingering hurt. Just nothing. Instead, I deleted the message and went back to living my life. Some apologies are too late. Some bridges once burned aren't worth rebuilding. And some people only realize what they had when they see you moving on without them. I'm dating again, but differently now. I pay attention to how women talk about their exes. I notice when someone starts making comparisons. I listen for that word, basic, and all its synonyms. And when I hear them, I don't try to prove them wrong anymore. I just walk away. Because I learned something important from Meredith. The right person won't think you're basic. They'll think you're exactly what they've been looking for.